DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Tonight, Capital School District Superintendent submits her resignation. Plus, Rehoboth Beach residents are seeking investigation into the new city manager's contract. And it's a jam-packed weekend ahead. We've got all the details. Those stories and much more coming up tonight on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Here's what's making headlines today, Thursday, June 13th, across the first state. Capital School District Superintendent Dr. Valicia Cade has resigned. According to Board of Education President Felicia Duggins, her last day will be July 22nd. Cade wrote in a letter posted on the district's social media page that she has been subject to, quote, hostile work environment in the school district. The letter listed a series of accomplishments during her tenure, including making strides to remedy the district's behavioral issues, including starting the Trauma and School Connectedness Task Force and starting the District Parent Summit. The outgoing Cade also sent a farewell letter to school district staff that focused on the progress the district has made under her leadership. Ms. Duggins and Dr. Cade released a third letter to district staff Wednesday evening after the resignation was announced at a Board of Education meeting. They say, quote, with respect and esteem, the Board of Education would like to formally wish Dr. Cade the very best in her future endeavors, and we want to publicly thank her for her service to the Senator Nation. That was co-signed by Dr. Cade and Ms. Duggins. The letters did not include information on what's next for Dr. Cade. And dozens of business leaders attended a gubernatorial candidate forum today, Thursday morning, sponsored by the Delaware State Chamber of Commerce and hosted by DETV right here in our Wilmington studios. Each candidate was given the same series of business-related questions and time to answer them. Candidates were given forum topics, but not the questions prior to the event. Here's a sample of what they had to say answering a question on how they would change current state programs. State Representative Mike Ramone suggested reconfiguring the education system from top to bottom.
Well, the first thing I would eliminate altogether is force-feeding everyone to buy EV cars. I think that's absolutely ridiculous, but I don't believe that's actually a program. I would spend the large majority of my first days in legislative or in the governor's office reconfiguring the way we do education. The entire top to bottom, 19 districts, Secretary of Education, Department of Education. Oh, everybody's telling everybody what to do up here, and we've got no money getting down to the classrooms for the children. Particular programs within each, I'm not here to redo programs. I'm here to help facilitate an environment where problems don't come up.
And Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer proposed transforming workforce development programs and accessing federal health care funding.
I mean, workforce development is something that's high on my mind, that it needs to be transformed. I think, quite frankly, the Workforce Development Board is too large. It needs to be scaled down. I think the way in which we engage with healthcare and our healthcare partners needs to change. I think there are opportunities to access federal funding in healthcare that could potentially reduce our expenditure of healthcare at the state level. And one other thing, since you just asked for one, and I'm giving you three in an optional question, but I think there are too many levels of education. As a former teacher, I felt like too much money was going to the Secretary of Education, to the highest levels, to administrators. We need to push that money down to the classrooms.
And President and CEO of the National Wildlife Federation, Colin O'Mara, advocated for reducing administrative layers in education to direct more funding to the classrooms.
So there are, it's easier to make promises than it is to make cuts. I think the explosion of the administrative state around education has been a huge drain on the state. Right now, we have less money making it into the classroom than almost any other state in the country. We just have layer and layer of bureaucracy, whether that's the 19 school districts, the Department of Education that's moved from $0 basically 25 years ago to $45, $50 million today. I think there's a lot of places where we do cut a lot of programs that aren't having the impacts that we desire and move that money back into the classroom so it's helping our students.
And finally, Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall-Long committed to reforming the justice system, citing its impact on the workforce.
Something that's going to affect you all is workforce, right? And something I've been in the arena, and I made a commitment as Lieutenant Governor, and I make it a commitment as a nurse, wanting to be the second governor, female governor, first nurse governor. I stand by my word. I took over, the pardons process, commutation process wasn't good. There are a lot of good workers for the reentry in this state. I'm going to be working really hard around justice reform. Reform Alliance was recently here with me, and a number of the business community here. We have to do better for all people in our state. That is a system that needs reforming, and that ties into our healthcare system. So healthcare, corrections, they tie together nicely and affects your workforce.
To watch the entire event, you can head right to DETV's YouTube channel. To Sussex County now, where several Rehoboth Beach residents have taken action against the hiring process of their new city manager, Taylor Tedder. A petition has been reportedly submitted to the state attorney general's office alleging that Tedder's appointment may have breached the Freedom of Information Act, also known as FOIA. Homeowners in the city have raised concerns not only about the process, but also the substantial compensation package offered to Tedder. The contract stipulates that a $250,000 annual salary, $50,000 in moving expenses, and a $750,000 home loan, which will be fully forgiven if Tedder remains in this position for 7 years. Critics argue that this level of compensation surpasses that of any other public official in the state of Delaware. The letter of complaint sent to the Department of Justice on May 31st outlines two primary issues. The first, the lack of a public forum to discuss Tedder's compensation package, and the failure to meet city charter requirements for the position. According to the charter, the city manager must hold an engineering degree and have at least 4 years of experience as a city manager in another municipality. And to Dover now, where a Delaware House panel voted down a bill on Wednesday to open primary elections to unaffiliated voters. Introduced by Representative Michael Smith of Newark with bipartisan support, House Bill 43 was rejected 3-2 along party lines. Currently, only registered party members can vote in primaries. HB 43 would have allowed over 170,000 unaffiliated voters to choose between Democratic and Republican primaries annually. Representative Smith argued that many voters affiliate with a party despite not feeling loyal to it. Opponents, including House Speaker Valerie Longhurst, contended it would dilute party members' influence. Staying in Dover, the Dover City Council voted this week to censure their former president, William Hare, following accusations of improper contact with the city employee last year. These allegations emerged after the Dover City Ethics Commission received a complaint on October 3rd, 2023. The complaint, filed by a city employee's husband, accused Hare of making inappropriate contact with the employee concerning her duties and functions. After a thorough investigation, the Ethics Commission concluded that Hare had violated Dover's ethical standards and recommended censure. Although the censure resolution was submitted to the council in 2023, it was not brought to a vote until Monday, June 10th of this year. Hare, who continues to serve on the council, addressed the allegations at Monday's meeting. He stated, quote, "If my stopping at an employee or neighbor's house was to advise that an issue had been resolved and I violated any city code, I apologize to the family, and if censure is felt appropriate, I understand and will accept. There was no attempt to intimidate the gentleman, and if apologizing too many times is wrong, then I apologize again," end quote. And state officials have announced the last of 145 feet of the Cape Henlopen State Park fishing pier will continue to be closed while repairs are being made. The 1,300-foot pier is in need of structural help and will not be accessible to certain sections, particularly along the side of the pier and 2 areas marked as a no standing zone. The portion of the pier was first closed in November of 2023 during an annual engineering review. DENREC says the engineering review, now completed, produced a detailed evaluation of the entire structure, including an underwater review of the pilings by a dive team. The structural repair design details are finalized, and the preliminary cost estimate for repairs is close to $1 million. Once they receive funding, construction is expected to take up to 6 months. And the state of Delaware is participating in a $700 million settlement with consumer product giant Johnson & Johnson. Here's what's happening. Over 40 states were involved in a lawsuit against J&J regarding their marketing of talc containing baby powder and body powder products. Johnson & Johnson has sold these products for over a century, but in recent years, talcum powder has faced scrutiny for potentially causing serious health issues, including ovarian cancer. As part of the settlement, J&J has agreed to cease sales of these products in the United States. Delaware's share of the settlement is approximately $5 million. And turning now to weather, well, it's finally here. It will be officially next week. While we are expected to have a steamy summer, it's about to kick off this Friday, and a heat wave will hit next week as temperatures, get this, climb into the mid-90s. With more on that, here's our very own Shakira Denise. Shakira, how's it going?
Going well, and like you said, get ready, DETV fan, because we are going to have some hot temperatures coming up. But let's just start off with the obvious. Happy Pride Month and a happy early Juneteenth to you all. Wilmington is buzzing with some fantastic events this weekend that you don't want to miss. But first, let's see what Mother Nature has in store for us. Get ready for some serious summer vibes this weekend. On Feel Good Friday, we're looking at a high of 88 degrees with a delightful mix of sunshine and clouds. Now, if you're heading out in the evening, don't forget your umbrella because there'll be a quick thunderstorm on the horizon, bringing the temps down to the lower 60s overnight. Now, Saturday is the real gem with mostly sunny skies and a high of 82 degrees. In the evening, expect clear skies and a cozy low in the 50s. Now on Father's Day on Sunday, it'll be just as pleasant with temperatures in the lower 80s, partly cloudy skies, and a low of 63 degrees by the evening. Now that you know what the weather's going to be gorgeous, let's dive into some amazing events happening around town. Saturday is packed with festivities. The Delaware Juneteenth Association is celebrating 30 years of honoring Juneteenth at the park. The parade kicks off at 11 a.m. at Rodney Square, travels down King Street, and ends at the historic Tubman Garrett Park, where the celebration will begin. Hosted by I Am 302 Yoda and Boss Up the Brand 302, this family-friendly event features food, retail vendors, a kids zone, and an array of entertainment, including a performance by R&B artist Christopher Williams. The YMCA is also hosting the Juneteenth celebrations at all their branches throughout Delaware. You can expect food, drinks, bouncy houses, family games, mindfulness and physical classes, and so much more. Check out the YMCA's website for specific times and locations. Now, Winterthur's Juneteenth celebration runs from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and will include a drum circle, African dance demonstrations, storytelling, dancing, and so much more. Now on Sunday, how about a steam train ride for Father's Day? The Wilmington and Western Railroad offers a 1.5-hour round trip to Mount Cuba Picnic Grove. Pack a lunch, enjoy the ride, and here's a bonus for everyone, especially the kiddos, all fathers ride for half price. For ticket info and timings, check out their website. Also on Sunday, don't miss the final night of St. Anthony's Italian Festival. Indulge in funnel cakes, ice cream, and rides. You know, if you can do it, I will not. But I will indulge in the funnel cakes, and it's one of the largest Italian-American cultural events in the nation. Fun will be guaranteed. There is so much to do and see this weekend, DETV fam. Enjoy the beautiful weather, celebrate Pride Month and Juneteenth, and to all the amazing fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Back to you, Matt.
I'm going to get her on a ride. Don't you worry, Delaware. We're going to do it. And before we sign off tonight, we want to let viewers know that the Food Bank of Delaware will be holding a mass drive-through food distribution at the Dover Motor Speedway. That's going to be this coming Tuesday, June 18th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. All Delaware residents are welcome and pre-registration is requested, but on-site registration will be available as well. Proof of residency is required, and for those who were unable to attend, other resources are available on the Food Bank's website, including healthy pantry centers in Newark as well as Milford. You can visit fbd.org for additional details. So about those rides that we're going to get you on.
No rides.
No chance?
No.
Not at all.
But you know what? We have to be prepared because we are expecting a heat wave.
So you'll get the
heat
you'll
wave
get the,
next week.
You'll get
It's
the
already
air
affecting
in
me.
your face.
It's already affecting me.
But you said you might go for the food, right? This weekend?
Of course.
You'll go?
Funnel cake, everything.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
Juneteenth activities. You have the Italian festival. There's no excuse not to be outside.
Right. So Ivan and Vincenzo were there earlier this week
That's
for
right.
Good Morning
That's
Wilmington,
right.
and they just really give a taste of everything that's there.
Yeah.
And it made me very hungry. I won't lie.
Yeah. I stay hungry. So. You'll see me out.
Right.
Wilmington.
We'll report back for our
There you go.
activities next week. That's going to do it for this edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us all across your favorite social media platforms.
And for a look at what's happening all around Delaware, take a look at our website at detvch.com.
That's right. And for all of us here at DETV News, I'm Matt Ford.
And I'm Shakira Denise. We'll see you next week.
We will indeed.
Take care.
We don't talk about prostate cancer enough, and it's the most diagnosed form of cancer and the second most common cause of cancer death among Black men in both Delaware and the United States. Approximately 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but just by asking your healthcare provider if you should get a screening could help you detect prostate cancer early and save your life. So let's talk about it. Talk to your healthcare provider today about a prostate cancer screening if you are 40 years of age or older, or have a family history of prostate cancer. If you don't have insurance, or if your insurance doesn't pay for cancer screenings, Screening for Life may provide you with the screenings that you need, and Nurse Navigators make this process easier. To learn more, visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211. Ask your healthcare provider about a prostate cancer screening, and you're asking for so much more.
My name is Jason Aviles, and I am the founder and owner of Fly Yogi, and I'm here to share with you some tips to be able to help fight opioid addiction. Opioid addiction is a real growing problem here in America, and I'm here to share with you some tips that you can be able to integrate into your everyday life to really fight against opioid addiction. One of the first things is redeveloping your mindset. One of the practices that I like to use daily is meditation. And what meditation does is it brings you clarity of mind, and it helps keep you grounded, and it improves your ability to make decisions that you are going to benefit from. A lot of the time we find that addiction is rooted in our mindset. It's rooted in how we think and how we perceive, and therefore how we act. So this is a really good way to help fight against that energy of addiction. The second thing is improving your lifestyle through diet and exercise. At the very root of addiction, there is substances within the body that's causing the addiction on a physical level. When we begin to introduce healthier foods, plant-based foods, we begin to remove and detox the substances that are in our body that's causing and attracting the addiction. So through incorporating more fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and even drinking water on a daily basis, you're going to put your body in a state where it's going to be able to fight the root causes of these addictions. The second part is exercise. Exercise is good for mood. It's good for energy. It's good to increase vitality. It's good to get your heart pumping and get your blood flowing and get oxygen moving throughout the body. So through engaging in physical exercise complemented by incorporating healthier foods, you're putting your body and your mind in a state where it does not want what's causing these things that are manifesting negatively in your life. So addiction can really be decreased by just incorporating a healthier lifestyle through diet and nutrition, exercise, and then also making sure that you're tackling the mind through mindset, through meditation.